Alrighty, True Crew, welcome back to another episode. If you're new to the YouTube channel, don't forget to check out the website. Get your free downloads on setting goals, fitness, and nutrition. Follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. And once again, we're putting the healing back in health. Alright? So coming at you today real quick on a concept of how you are really not free, right? You are slaves. And in reality, I think we are born to be slaves, unfortunately, as strange as that sounds. And not unfortunately, but once again, they've just created a new type of slavery, right? I heard it said the other day that, listening to a talk by KRS-One, which if you don't know, he's a rapper from like a popular rapper from like the 80s, I think, something like that. I never really listened to his music. Might be the late 80s, early 90s. One of the pioneers of hip hop, and now conscious rapper, conscious spiritual man, not Christian, but spiritual man. I enjoy his talks. He said, now technology makes slavery comfortable. Freedom is uncomfortable. Freedom is difficult, right? Because it's something that we really don't grasp the concept of. Or he talks about that just because we are given a right, if you only do something because you are given the right to, you're not really free. You've been given freedom. Freedom is knowing that you had that right to begin with. You didn't need someone to tell you that. So I thought that was an interesting thought too. But how are we slaves, right? And in reality, like it's based now, the video, on that conception of technology and the luxuries that we are given, right? Because in reality, we have a false concept of necessity and luxury. And I've also heard a Catholic family therapist, Dr. Ray Guarendi, say, take something away from your children that you've given them, and the way they act is the way that they view that object or that thing. Right? If you take your phone from your children and they throw a fit, to them, it is a necessity and not a luxury. We all know that a cell phone is a luxury. TV is a luxury, right? And if you take that away from them and they throw a fit and act like spoiled brats, then they don't see it. They see it as a necessity. So we've got to, once again, it starts at a young age. We've got to now train our kids in understanding the world how it truly is, not what man's made the world, right? So once again, it goes into those same things. Like, can you go 1 week without drinking? Can you go 2 weeks without drinking? Could you go a year without drinking? Could you go 1 or 2 months, years without going out to eat, without drinking a soda, without smoking a cigarette? Something along those lines. And if you cannot, you are a slave. You are not free. Understand that. There is no freedom in that. You cannot go a day without drinking a Coca-Cola, right? You are not a free man or woman. You are a slave. And you need to understand those types of things. You can't watch TV. You can't put down Facebook. You can't stop this. You can't stop that. You are a slave, right? To this invention of man, right? Those are all inventions of man. Now, in reality, I say we are all slaves because we are of this earth, right? We are, they say God molded us from this earth, breathed into us, and then man was created. So he formed us from the earth, breathed his spirit within us, or within that clay, and now we became man. So our bodies are, yes, in somewhat slaves to this world. But why? Because we need water, we need food, we need air, right? Those are the things that we need. Those are true necessities. You are only a slave to the necessities, the bare necessities, right? We don't need water, we don't need coffee, we don't need all these, we need water, we don't need soda, we don't need coffee, we don't need juice, we don't need alcohol, whatever it is. Those are luxuries, but we are a slave to the necessities, right? Just like in order for reproduction to happen, we need a partner of the opposite sex, right? So we are a slave to that in a sense. And in my sense, in my personal beliefs, being a Catholic Christian, that's not a bad thing. Matrimony is sacred, right? But once again, you've got to understand that. Those are the only true things that we should be a slave to. Water, food, nutrition, air, things like that, right? Shelter, right? In reality, we are a slave to this world, but we are a part of this world, That's why probably the worst thing that could happen to us is if we left this world and went and colonized Mars or something like that, right? We're already seeing what strange things happen to our body when we have these Franken foods, these liquids, all these different foreign substances put in our body. Imagine what would happen if we lived on a foreign world. Our body would be even worse, right? So once again, something to think about. Are you truly free? It's like they say, no matter what, you're always going to be a slave to something. You're always going to be working for someone, no matter what. Even if you own your own business, you still got to pay taxes, right? No matter what, you are a slave to something. And in reality, we must ensure that we are slave to as little things as possible. So once again, don't let this luxurious life confuse you, right? It's okay to be a slave to the bare necessities, right? You just don't want to become a slave to the luxury, the luxurious life, the lies that they've created. That same concept I've spoken about in another video. The way to overcome difficulties before they ever happen, right? You might lose your job. You might lose this. You might, who knows, right? We're going to lose things in life. There are tragedies that happen to us. But the way to overcome these things is through fasting and eliminating these luxuries from your life throughout the week, throughout the day, right? If you devote 1 to 2 days a week to only eating beans and rice, right? Even though you could eat steak and lobster every day, well then when money's low and you can't go out to eat, it doesn't really matter because you can go without those luxurious items, right? Same thing, if you go 1 to 2 days without AC, right? If you can't live without AC, you're a slave. Like, I don't have AC. My lady comes over here and she's just like, holy crap, it is burning up. And I go over to her house and I'm like, holy crap, it is freezing in here. You know, but there's like, oh, it's nice. But if you can't go without those things, you're a true slave, right? TV, your phone, right? If you can't go without these things for even 1 day, right? What's the world going to come to? My boss said it best. The true devastation of a nuclear attack on the United States wouldn't be, and yes, a loss of life is horrible, right? But it wouldn't be that they drop a bomb somewhere and 1 million people are killed, right? The downfall is they drop a bomb somewhere, it fries the grid, and all of a sudden, half the country doesn't have power. The entire country doesn't have power. What happens when you lose your car keys, when you lose your phone? Right? That's the real tragedy, because now we're going to freaking cannibalize and kill ourselves for a piece of bread. For someone that has a backup generator that actually can have electricity, that would be the worst thing to happen, right? Eventually you're going to run out of ammunition and be unable to protect yourself. People are going to be coming for you if the entire block, the entire city is blacked out and you're the only house with light. You're the only house with energy, right? You're a prime target now. So think about it. Freedom, slavery. No matter what, we're always working for someone. Someone's always our boss, right? And I would rather only have minimal slavery than that maximal slavery, that false lie of freedom, of the clothes you get to wear, right? That's not freedom. I had a buddy tell me that one time too. I know you got some money saved up. Let's go out and drop like 5 G's on clothes. It's like, dude, I don't give a crap about these clothes, dude. Like, this don't define me. This don't define me, right? So once again, understand that, think about it, contemplate it. So once again, True Crew, I hope this helps. If this is a video you enjoyed, subscribe. Join the community. Let's change not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. So, follow on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Google+. The podcast is out there. Links down below. Share and like these videos.